The 20 Minutes of Fitness podcast. Paul got better looking, and I'm still here. Today we're going to do a special show. We weren't going to do this, but this one's going to be called CrossFit Open FUKT-UP
The shit show.
23.1. The shit show continues. So we just did the workout today. We're uploading currently our workout video with a little bit of tips at the end. We didn't have we didn't go too deep into tips because, well, we just had, we used iPhone and whatnot, and there was zero chance I was going to mess around trying to edit anything on that garbage. So sorry if there wasn't a huge amount of tips and tricks, but for you. So go check that one out. We wanted to put some of this at the end of that, but it was just too much. That one's already 20 something minutes long. So I figure make a special broadcast for this one. And this has to do with the CrossFit Open 23.1 broadcast.
The mess up.
Shorter than you think, or is it? We don't really know because apparently on the broadcast or something somewhere, somebody
on Sevon's live broadcast of the actual live broadcast,
they said it was 15 minutes.
Yeah, right with the screenshot of the 14 minutes, as many rounds as possible. It said time cap 15 minutes. So nowhere else does it say that in any of the other things.
Don't do 15 minutes.
Don't do 15 minutes.
That's one.
That's one tip.
The big thing here is last year, I believe, the first week of the Open, we had the leaked workout, right? They leaked a bunch of workouts by accident because they didn't know how to name stuff. So this year it's going to be just fun kind of watching the implosion of CrossFit once again, because they can't really do anything properly. They can't put on a proper sporting event, and they wonder why they're looked at as not a professional sport, making professional money. So this time we watched the pros do it, and it was pretty awesome. They all got like around where Rich Froning had gotten 10 years ago, and he had the highest score, which was 17 toes to bar. And I believe Lazar beat it. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure, BKG?
I think he was really close.
He was close. He was in there, and he beat his own by like 20 reps.
And that's cool to see, too.
It's cool to see he's there that long. Yep.
Like Annie posted her original. She was failing muscle ups at the end. So that's going to be really cool to see.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
If she crushes it and makes it back to the toes to bar.
Yep. And then you had Gabby McGowan and Laura Horvath, the woman that's probably going to win the CrossFit Games this year. And they did it. They were nice enough to go to France and throw down there. Except some moron at CrossFit, because this is only on them, this is not on the athletes. Some moron there misloaded the bar by, was it 8 pounds or 11 pounds?
It's
something
11
like
pounds.
That. 11 pounds. So they put on what we think was probably
38 kilos, which roughly translates to 84.
Yeah, so they probably were thinking that this workout was 135 for the guys, 85 for the ladies, because that's kind of been that's kind of where the sport's gone over the last 5 years or so. Those are very common numbers. When this was made 10 years ago, most people didn't have 35-pound bars. So everything was 135, 95, even like Grace, Isabel, all those are 135, 95. Generally, the ladies would use a 45-pound bar. Now, everybody has 35-pound bars. So a lot of times they just do the same 25-pounders on the 35-pound bar. So apparently, I think that's what happened. The person just never even asked how much weight was supposed to be on the bar. Or, hey, maybe it could be like that 15-minute thing. They asked and they got the wrong answer. But, so what does CrossFit say about those two? Because we saw they put up a post
that basically said it's our responsibility and our fault, but now you have to redo the workout because we can't validate your score, which to me is completely asinine.
Yeah.
When you created a rule book that clearly states we will use our discretion on invalid reps.
Yeah.
So the invalid reps are your fault.
Yeah, this is where CrossFit drops the ball. It's fine that they misloaded the bar. I can understand that. They probably have volunteers, people from that gym. Also, it's super secret workouts, so they're not out there like they don't have this thing out there and they're checking numbers, though they should be.
Yeah.
It's not that hard to load up a barbell with 95 pounds, but where they drop the ball is telling them you have to redo the workout. And I know people are out there, well, they didn't do the right workout. Look at, they were nice enough to go there. CrossFit has all these dumb rules about like validating stuff. Like you said, it's up to their discretion. And they already have things in place that would take care of this problem.
So say if I wasn't standing up all the way on my cleans or my elbows weren't coming through for half my reps, they would then give me a penalty and I wouldn't have to redo the whole workout and it could be completely invalid. They've left so much ambiguity on like how many reps will deem it invalid. They didn't say 50% of the reps. They didn't say this many of the reps. So to completely just throw their workout out without even using the standards that they created in the handbook.
I can see if you put in your own video, or even if you found out after the fact, like at a local affiliate, but you loaded your bar, all that stuff. These are people doing it without knowing what it is, not having time, probably not even allowed to stop and say, oh, hey, let me understand this. Let me check all this stuff. There's none of that going on there. They're trying to run a show. To penalize them and tell them they have to do it again is absolutely wrong. So here's a couple. It doesn't take much to fix this without making them do it again. And if I were them, I would absolutely fight doing it again. So one thing I came up with was it's literally a 10-pound weight discrepancy, right? So we'll call that 10% of the weight wasn't lifted. So what is 10% of the workout? 30 reps. Or the 30 reps, 10% is 3 reps. Okay. Take 3 reps away from them. You want to make it, and you want to be super sure that you took enough away. Take 5. I know you're saying like, that's nothing. Okay. 10%, 10 pounds over 30 reps is 300 pounds. Okay. 300 pounds of almost a 100-pound clean is 3 reps of overall volume. So you take your overall volume that you're supposed to do, what they actually did, they're 3 reps, maybe 4 reps shy. So if you're taking 5 reps, I'm sure they'd be happy with that. And it wouldn't be a big deal, even though you're taking harder reps to get than cleaning a 95-pound bar for these people. So you're taking 5 of the harder reps that they did, meaning toes to bar or rowing, in exchange for not having to do 5 cleans, which would not even take as long. I think they would be more than happy with that. And a 10% on that one movement is more than fair.
Yeah.
And that's 2 ways you could do it. I mean, 2 ways it makes sense.
And I think like I've been paying attention to how the community has responded. And it's like, I would say 50-50 on, well, this is why CrossFit's in shambles. This is why it's a joke. And this is why it's gone to shit. But then you also have the other 50 that's blaming the athlete, that's blaming the judges, that's blaming the place. And to me, it's just very, very frustrating. If I'm a professional athlete and I claim to be a professional athlete and I've come to your location to perform, it is not my job, not my responsibility to check everything. Somebody even put in there, like, didn't they take the judges course? The judges course for a workout that you don't know until you're walking out on the floor. And I guarantee you, none of them are watching.
There's no course.
But none of them are watching the local athletes that are performing right before them.
Hold on. The judges course doesn't tell you that the workout's 95 pounds.
Yeah.
They had no idea what the weight was. People carried the bar out.
Yeah.
Put it down. They started the workout. They're not even looking. They're like, okay, that's my bar.
Laura even said, she asked her coach or her brother, I can't remember who she said was there, what did I do last time? She said she couldn't even remember the workout. When she heard it was a repeat, she's
10
like,
years ago.
She's like, okay, well, how did I do last time? And immediately her brother looked up her score, her own PR, and the top women's ever, which was by Sam Briggs, which was, she got back to the toes to bar, and she beat that. So she hit all her goals. And so now you're looking at an athlete who openly said on the broadcast, the open really doesn't mean anything.
Yeah,
multiple of them did. And now you're going to piss them off even more.
And if you watch our show where Paul and I went over the ladies who we thought was going to win the Open, I specifically said Laura Horvath does not care about the Open. She got 100 and I think it was 14th, 113th place in the Open last year because I don't think she cares about it. This would have actually made her care about it. Now you're going to make her do it again. First off, if I'm Laura Horvath, hell to the no. I'm calling CrossFit. No, I'm not doing this again. And I would fight it until the final submission day. And I'd probably do the workout already again and have that sitting there so that when they say, okay, we're going to do this instead and make them cave. And then I would delete my score and put my other score in and be like, I don't want to be a cheater because of you assholes. But the other thing I would do if they keep insisting that she do this over, find out how much money CrossFit makes from YouTube and she gets a share of it because she just did this for nothing and for the benefit of CrossFit.
Yep.
And that's ridiculous when they fucked it up. Yeah. So they owe her money, a day's pay at least, or let the damn thing go. Take however many reps. You could even take 30. You could give her a penalty for every single clean that they did, 30 reps, and it still puts them in the top 10%. Easy. Where they don't have to, they won't care about the open, that's guaranteed, but at least they don't have to do the workout. To me, doing the workout over, and you said something, what if while doing this workout, she gets injured? Yep. Again, right? Like, what if she's pissed off and she's like, I'm going to fucking beat my score just because, and gets injured? Like, that's not cool because it's not her fault. She definitely wouldn't do this again. Well, she even said it on the broadcast that she wasn't doing it again.
And so what's infuriating is that you look at CrossFit as an organization, as somebody who's trying to get into the mainstream as an organized sport, and you still continue to have blunders like this. And regardless of whose fault it is, it's because it's not. I don't care. You have 10 people. You have 10 people who know the workout right before the announcement, who are getting checked on the equipment, who are double checking, who are printing scorecards, who are comparing everything. But why is that not happening? Because you're afraid what? It's been leaked before. Who gives a shit? And at that point, your one job is to make sure everything is done perfectly.
Here's the thing we say every year. It's like, after last year, I can't believe they got this wrong again. Last year was the biggest disaster of anything ever, from the open until semifinals. It was okay after semifinals. Like, complete disaster. Actually, before that, when they fired Dave, like, complete disaster where you basically wrecked the company. And now you've been trying to rebuild this thing, and day one you go fuck it up and you just look like jackasses. I'd be having my I'm out speech, except now it'd be for a good reason.
And it's asinine to blame anybody but the organization themselves. And I think it's really funny because I think in a WNBA or college basketball, women's basketball game, I saw an article not too long ago, they used the wrong fucking basketball. They had a men's basketball, and the coach was so irate and was like, this is why women's sports is laughed at. This is why it's a joke, and you guys need to get your shit together because there's no excuse for it. And that's the reality of it. There's zero excuse for this to happen.
It's laziness.
And it's the ability to always hide behind the fact that, we're just going to make them redo it. You're going to lose athletes. You're going to lose investment. You're going to lose, and watching the judging of how much shit got away with last year with some of the top tiered athletes, it's a joke. Yeah. Because you're not held to the same standard.
No, Danny Spiegel, if this was Danny Spiegel, they would never make her redo it. They'd be like, we'll give you extra fucking points because for some reason they love her. But anyway, it's you're gonna lose athletes that are like, oh, maybe I'll just go do something else that kind of makes more sense.
For anybody who's not in that top 10,
speaking of,
that's going to make money. One other thing I want to acknowledge, they tried to lie and say it was a 2.5 collar. When you zoom in, you can easily tell that that's not a 2.5 Olympic weightlifting collars. I think we actually have some.
No, not right here.
They're giant.
They're huge.
Huge metal that are really hard to get on and off the barbell, and they actually have a wand on the outside of them, so they're very distinctive. Yeah. And
they're trying to say that they're used to putting that on, and so somebody loaded the bar thinking.
Well, initially on the Sevon podcast, they said, "Oh no, they had the big collars on."
Yeah, but that's them.
So they zoomed in and they figured that out, and I think that's irrelevant. You can tell easily what type of collars somebody has on.
It's those right there. Yeah. So, let's see. Anything you wanted to add about 23.1? Let's see. What didn't we cover? So on your row, know your damper settings. Do the drag factor. If you don't know that stuff, you're not going to do well. Like, some people just put it on a 10. You shouldn't be rowing on a 10 unless you're like 6'5" and 250 pounds. Yeah, I'm talking to Paul.
Well, I
And
also think setting like a realistic time for your 60-calorie row, if you know what your PR is for 50 or 60,
yeah,
do not try to go for that.
no, don't try to PR it. So that's one thing I didn't touch on before was I said know your pace, but like you need to set the rower up properly because if you don't, you're gonna get smoked. You're just gonna waste too much time on it. Toes to bar. I think we covered everything on toes to bar.
Break them up early.
Yeah, and then wall balls. There's not really much there on wall balls. Make sure the center of the ball goes above the target, which they show in the picture the entire ball over the target, but in the wordage on this thing right here, it says the center of the ball must get to the top of the target. So make sure you do the line, the top of the line being 9 or 10 feet so that your ball hits above it. So that's kind of up for interpretation, and to me, you do either one and you're good. And the other thing with the wall balls, toes to bar, and even the muscle ups, they're not looking for accuracy here, really. And I say this because if you're doing a video submission, and this is just those video submission people, if you look at the video submission and you could see mine, I put the camera in the exact spot it's supposed to be. There's no real way you can see if I'm hitting the target at all. Like my ball could be going straight up and down, especially the way I throw almost straight up and down. You can see the line. You can't see if I'm squatting below parallel because the camera is directly, just like I'm directly facing you, you'd be looking at my back 20 feet away in order to get all your aspect in there. Same thing with the muscle up. It's quite a bit away, plus it's raised up. I don't know. I just feel it's an interesting thing, but I guess same thing with toes to bar. You can't really see if the person is truly hitting it. I mean, we had judges, but yeah, it's a little funky on that stuff, I felt, and that's kind of why I made sure that I showed like this is exactly what they want you to do, because I don't want somebody to be like, hey, your video's invalid because I can't see your hip crease, go below your knee. Well, trust me, my hip crease is way down there. Anyway, that's it, guys. That's what we got for you. CrossFit, do better. Do a lot better next week. I've pretty much decided I'm not paying the $20. I'm still going to do the 2 more videos. I'm not giving CrossFit any of my money. Deuces to my 13-year streak. I've done every single open, paid for, I should say, every single open. So far, I've done every single open workout, but it won't be official because I'm not fucking paying for it anymore because they don't deserve any of my money, just like I stopped paying them last year with affiliation. So, but buy CrossFit. Like, subscribe, and tune in next week for the next episode of CrossFit Fucked Up.